Hi, this is Belinda, Aussie Stitcher, coming to you on the 6th of October 2024. Don't know why I had to think then. Welcome back to our Flosstube update. About 5 days later than I would have liked, but life. I've been sick. I'm still sick. I'm not 100% sure if it's... Okay, that's irritating me. Sorry. If it's an illness or hay fever, but it's that whole stuffy nose, coughing, just feeling and tired. By the end of the day, I'm just tired. So that doesn't actually reflect at all in my stitching. I actually done quite well, but it is what it is. I did not get to Sleeping Beauty by Joni Elliott, but I did good progress on everything else. So like I would normally do, I'll do a quick update at the beginning, and then, sorry, keep coming through the house. And then I will go into showing my whips and a bit of plans, but I don't have a lot of anything. It is Sunday and we're in the dregs of the last school holiday, so all kids are home. So you might hear doors opening, closing, that kind of stuff. So it was wildflower season and I was going to go for some walks, I think the last time I spoke, and see if we could find some wildflowers, and we did. So I'm going to put some photos in, hopefully in order in what I've said. So we found some donkey orchids, some sun orchids, fairy orchids, and a bunch of other wildflowers, and I don't really know. Merchants in Snow is one I know, and the Everlastings, and then a whole bunch, depending on how many I put in, of different wildflowers and trigger plants that catch little insects that I do not know the names of. I don't know if you can hear that noise. If you can hear it, that's my husband grinding / welding. He is a bit of a distance away, but I can hear it, so maybe you can hear it. And it was great. The weather was being beautiful. The walks were great. We only walked one area. And each time we went back to that area, we kept finding more and more different plants. So next year I hope to go earlier and start doing more bush walks on our farm and see what we can find. But in that area, see if we go earlier, if we can find some of the earlier orchids that we have here, like the spider orchids and stuff like that. We might not. A friend of ours that owns a farm closer to the town that we live in, they don't get many sun orchids on their farm. So she was really excited when I said, like, we got hundreds of them. So it was great. And it was great, but the flies were bloody annoying. It's like they didn't have a vacation and they were just there in droves. And so we weren't lasting longer than like an hour, hour and a half, because the flies were bloody annoying. We've also have cut our hay and we've made hay bales, which I'll put some photos in. It was amazing. So roughly the same, we put the same amount of hectares in every year, and the most we've ever had was like 125, and this year we got 206. So we have like what we call the driveway paddock, usually goes in, and then another little bit goes in, and we cut that for hay. So yeah, that was pretty good. Hubby was busy doing some for the neighbours as well. He doesn't want to be a contractor by any means, but it's just enough to justify having the machinery to do it. So yeah, being busy. Harvest we think is away by about 3 weeks. So by the end of October, we should be starting. I think that's really it for life update. Oh, Sophie has got her P, so she's officially got her license. So she's now driving herself to work, which has been amazing. I get 4 months of not having to hang around town and wait for a child to finish work. And then I start all over again in February when she goes to Scotland for ever how long she wants. She's got her British passport, so now we just got to wait. Well, organise her Australian passport. What else? Oh, and Sophie finishes school in 2 weeks. She finishes year 12 in 2 weeks, and I'll be down to 3 kids in school. I think that's it. Onto the whips. So between being sick, work got extremely busy. I work at the local supermarket, and it was tourist season, wildflower season, lots of tourists. It got busy. On top of that, we had a staff member leave for better job opportunities, which is awesome. I'm not likely to leave because this job suits me, my family and kids, and it's a great work environment. But for other people, they need something else. They need something that makes more money, especially if they're the sole earner for their family. So you move on to different things. What it has remained is that I now start at 7 a.m, which means I leave the house at 6:30. And that, I wouldn't say knocked me. It just took me 2 weeks to get into a morning rhythm. So basically it was the week leading up to the school holidays, and the first week of the school holidays, I was a bit all over the place in the mornings. I've now got down a better rhythm so that I can still relax and stitch a bit in the morning. Plus, I get stuff a little bit organized before I go to work. It just took a little bit to get into that little bit of a routine. And then I got sick, and that knocked it a bit as well. So on to whips. The first whip I stitched on was Peony Garden by Mirabilia. And now she's the one that has all the silks, I was going to say wildflowers, but they're not. What are they? Water lilies. And I put them on a ring. A ring that I got from StitchNButton. So all the beautiful silks. And guys, I did a restart. Are we surprised? So where is my fabric? This is the original fabric. And I had done that much. And it's a light pink. This is actually the pink that I want. And I just showed you the back. The pink that I want for, I think it's the Christmas Mirabilia with the beautiful lady in the big Christmas scene, and it's all busy. Yeah, I wanted, Michaela wants it, and her favorite color is pink, but this is not an overpowering color, and it's very busy, so you don't want, but I also need I think I need a fat half of it. It's a color cascades. It's easy to get. Anyway, besides all that, and I got this, and I don't know, I didn't love this on here, and I had all the colors and I put it on here and I didn't love it. And then I counted, I think, across, because this is I think this is a 28 count. I might be wrong. Do I actually have it in here? No, I don't know, have the details in here. Anyway, I just wasn't feeling it on this fabric. So I went for a stash dive and I found this fabric. This is a Pole Stitches fabric called Hocus Pocus that came in one of the mystery boxes that they do every 2 months, I think, or 3 months, where you get like a Jonah Elliott, a Pole Stitches design and 2 fabrics, and this was one of it. And so I did a restart and I was like, I'm gonna know, it goes this way. So I did it on this purple fabric and I am way happier. Everything just pops better. Yeah, I am a lot happier on that fabric. And this here is, I think this here, so I'm basically at the edge of the design as well this way, and then next time I will stitch this way. But yeah, just, I don't know what it was about the other one, I just wasn't feeling it. And I think that was a lot of these starts. I think this was like a 2020 start where we were studying all the things and it seemed like a really good idea, and it was a good idea, but I don't love every choice that I made with fabric. Sometimes I made fabric sizing wrong. So yeah, that's why there's been a lot of restarts over the last 2 years. Just not happy. And yeah, it's been good. You spend a long time stitching on something, not to stitch on something that you enjoy stitching on, or it looks right, or you enjoy. It's really what it comes down to. Next I have is Vintage Birds in this StitchNButton bag. And so in Peony Gardens I did 982 stitches. I didn't actually tell you my count, so I'll tell you everything at the end. So Vintage Birds by Jeanette Douglas. I feel like I'm going to be spending a lot of time whinging about the light again, like I did in the Mirabilia Stash and Whip Parade. Next time I'm going to change where I'm going to sit, but I didn't think about it, to be honest, before I sat down here, and I wasn't getting up again. I did 1,140 stitches, and this is a 36 count ivory, the fabric that I got from 1, 2, 3 stitch. Oh my god, mind blank. So this is where I am, and I did the bird down here and across here. I'm using all the called for hand-dyed threads. And I'm really enjoying it. I am predicting this is basically the end of the design. There's just the alphabet here. So I am predicting that this will be a finish either in December or January next year, going by the amount of stitches I'm stitching. I am loving it. I will be glad to see it done. I keep looking at these, oh my god, mental blank. Anyway, these specialty stitches, and they do not necessarily look the best, but considering it was my first time ever doing them, I'm still pretty proud of them. So there we go. Then I pulled out the March Fairy for the last time. So I do this every time. I stitch on a certain amount of whips every month to try and get progress towards a finish. I stitch on 4 projects for 3 months each to get them further along. And then I stitch on one project, a different project every month that's different again, to get something done on those projects. So this was my 3 monthly that finished up. I have a new 3 monthly one now. This is in a bag that I got from an Etsy store in Australia. It is Stitch and Needles. So the March Fairy by Mirabilia. And this one I only got 714 stitches. And that was in that whole time I think I was getting sick or was sick. And this was just sitting on my frame forever. And I think it also was around that time I did my work change and everything was just going slightly out of pear shape. So this is done on a 32 count from Colour Cascades, which Colour Cascades are back in business. It's on a purple fabric because my daughter, his favourite colour is purple. And I stitched in here. And all those spaces are beads. So this side here shows a good accurate of the fabric. It was good to get out of greens and stitch some yellows. It's going to be a lot of beading. I'm regretting not doing this on a 28 count to give me that little extra space, because hand-dyed fabrics tend to dye, make the fabric shrink a bit. So this is not what I would call a normal 32 count. It's probably more like a 36 count. 32, no, 34. We'll go with 34. It's smaller. So yeah. But I am loving the colours on this. And I think next year is going to be my last year. I'm going to do a rotation of 3 months. And then I'm going to put this in my monthly rotation and get it finished. Next we stitched on Anzac, and that's in this StitchNButton bag. And Anzac I got 977 stitches. This is stitched on a 32 count using DMC 310. And the fabric is a name that I can't pronounce, the dyer. But it is a beautiful fabric. And I think I just stopped because I just got to a good stopping point. There we go. That is all of it. And I have reached the bottom of the design, people. So we'll go into where I've been stitching. So this is the very, very end of the design, and I've done all the waves. Can't remember if I finished off the boat or not. You'll be able to see in the before pic. Just bring that in a bit as well. So yeah. Lots and lots of just block stitching. I am loving this. I have picked out my next long dog that I'm going to start, and I'll start that when this is finished, but that one won't be a focus. I will be focusing on Spangle by Long Dog Sampler as my next stitch every month until I get it, and that's going to take me, well, I reckon it's going to take me 2 years at least of stitching every month. It is very, very stitch heavy. And then I didn't think I was going to make this because I literally stitched this on the last 2 days of the month. But in this Emily C bag is my Autumn Queen by Mirabilia. And guys, I have done all the stitches. Next time you'll be seeing this is when I am beading it. How good does that look? So this is stitched on a 32 count. I think I've lost my little thing. It's a Picture This Plus, and I can't think if it's ancient or I think it might be ancient or something else, but it's a Picture This Plus. So let's get some close-ups. Her face is done. So I literally had all her hair that had to be done. And I honestly thought when I pulled this out, it was going to be like 200-300 stitches and we're done. Yeah, 822 stitches later, that is all done. Her face, collar, her weird looking hands, because yeah, is what it is. The beautiful dress, that never-ending dress, it's still going, it's still going. But all the colours. Now I did swap the Whisper for 3866, is that off-white, in that 386-ish range. I did swap the DMC Gold for just a Cryonic Gold. I'm not doing that stuff. So all the gold back stitching and the gold in her hair is the Cryonic. Do I have it on me? Yeah, it was supposed to be like the DMC Gold, and I used Very Fine Full Braid 028. I did have a petite one just in case I wanted to use that one, but I liked that gold on it instead. So yeah, so very happy. So I do have all the treasures. I don't know how to have all the beads. I have this bad habit of starting beading and not having all the beads or things. So my job today is to go through and see. But yeah, oh my God, she looks so good. I am not 100% sure if I'm going to go straight onto winter, because my idea, I've done summer, I've gone into autumn, and then I was going to do winter, then spring. I am not 100% sure if I'm going to do that, or whether I'm going to pick up a different memorabilia and work on that to a finish to give a bit of a break from the seasonal queens. I am tossing up whether to take March Fairy out of next year's 3 monthly and whack it in and do it every month, and swap in the winter so it still gets at least 3,000 stitches, or whether I do Tree of Hope. Not sure yet. I feel like I should probably do March Fairy and get that done, because Michaela's got the August Peridot Fairy done. Sophie's got the Enchanted Mermaid done, and Iona has her Snow Queen done. But the idea is that March Fairy is for Iona's birth month. Sophie did not like the December Fairy, which is her birth month, and I gifted that to Vicky because she has a daughter in December, and she was like, I'll finish it and give it to her. Sophie's picked another piece, and Michaela's picked her big piece that's not to do with her like the other big piece like I've done the other girls. So I kind of want to start getting them and try and get them stitched on so that they get done. but we'll see. Lots of you will see. Right. And then I stitched on throughout the whole month. Again, I stitched on Outback Storm. I'm doing 100 stitches roughly a day in the morning before I go to work. Some days I'm not doing it. I'm trying to get a minimum of 2,000 stitches a month. If I get more, that's great. If I get less, that's also great. Sarah, the Stitching Mummy, commented on my video how wouldn't it be really great to get this done by the time I'm 50? So I'm already 42. I am 43 in February. 7 years. Can I get this done in 7 years? I don't know. But I'm kind of liking that idea. Like, just, is it possible? I don't think it is, to be perfectly honest. But I kind of like the idea of really trying, which means I would need to do 3,000 plus stitches a month. I haven't done the maths for it, but that's the reality. I think if I did 3,000 stitches, it was going to be like 9-ish years. So yeah, we'll see. Not going to say not, but I'm liking the idea. I'm really liking the idea. So I did 2,153 stitches. You're going to see, I think, an extra 300 stitches that I've already done for this month. I did not stitch on it yesterday, or I haven't stitched on it today either. So this is where we are up to. Yes, there is a very hard page line, but I'm not stitching like that anymore. This is the first lot of pages. I'm feathering into other pages, so we're not going to have as hard. And I'm going to be washing this at least once a year. So I reckon over time it would eventually go. So lots and lots and lots of sky, and we're nearly up the top. And I don't know if I will start here and work down, or whether I'll start at the bottom and work up just to get some variety. But yeah. So I stitched 6,788 stitches, which is bloody amazing. I had 7 no stitch days where I did not stitch, and I consider a no stitch day if I don't stitch up to 100 stitches a day. Like, that's my, if I do like 10 stitches, that's not a stitch day. If I did 98 stitches, I'm going to call that a stitch day. But you know, that roughly, if I haven't done at least 100 stitches or haven't stitched at all, then I'm calling it a no stitch day. And so I am pretty darn happy with that, considering between the sickness and work and how busy it is getting on the farm as well. Like, it's been busy. Someone just sneezed. So really, really, really happy with that. On to some plants. I'm going to put a photo in here because I am working on it. A forest grew is my next 3-monthly project, and that brings me to the end of the year. I could have just shown you the cover page, but I didn't even grab it. So I'll show you the cover page and the starting point. I, for whatever reason, thought it was like more bigger than what it is. It is big. It is 24 pages. No, 16 pages. But it's only 2 rows. So it's big, it's long, but not as, like, I thought it was actually going to be like 4 pages this way down and then across. I reckon a page is anywhere from 2,000 to 3,000 stitches. So I would like to think that by the end of the 3 month, I've already completely finished the first page, that I could potentially get the second page done or close to done, which means that next year when I bring it out for another 3 months, I can get to the point where then this will go into the rotation for every month stitching and get it done. So that's good. I also pulled for my monthly, once-off monthly project, Stargazer by Mirabilia. And this is stitched on a 28 count fabric from Colour Cascades. It is Blue Moon. And it's opal. And that is my starting point. I always look at it, I don't know, when you're looking through the camera, it doesn't necessarily look like it pops off the fabric a bit, but when I'm looking at it, I really like it. The purple probably blends in a bit, but it's surrounded by other colours, so it's not the purple in here. But it's surrounded by other colours, so it's not a big deal. So yeah, that will get hopefully 1,000 stitches. And I'll also start beading, hopefully, Autumn Queen. Stitch on, again, Anzac. What else? Outback Storm, Vintage Birds, and hopefully get some stitches into Sleeping Beauty. And that's it. I do want to say, because I've had a massive jump in subscribers, and I think that's a lot to do with a huge shout out that I got from the Global Stitchers. They did quite the shout out through watching my last Mirabilia Whip Stash Parade, which I knew myself wasn't the best video in the universe. I started off, I think, a little bit enthusiastic, but I hadn't quite realised just how much Mirabilias I owned, because I had done a Whip Stitch Parade about 6 years ago, and I had culled a lot, because as I was doing that I was like, this is overwhelming and there's a lot here that I will never stitch. I have brought, not the same charts, but you know, have added, because more Mirabilias have come out, you know, you buy. And so as I pulled it all out, all my whips, all the ones I've kitted up, and the charts that I have, and I was like, oh my God, this is a lot. So I already felt a little bit overwhelmed before I even started the video, and I think it progressively kind of just went downhill. So they were like, oh yeah, you know, this is amazing. I'm like, no, it wasn't, but thanks anyway. So I really do appreciate the very, very beautiful shout out that they did for me. And if you haven't watched them, go and watch them. They're amazing. They're two sisters. They're highly enthusiastic. If you're looking at me and you're like, I want to watch someone who's happy and sounds excited and is just thrilled to bits, go and watch them. They are brilliant. They are so happy, so enthusiastic about the stitching, and they play off each other beautifully. You can tell not only are they sisters, they're really good friends as well. I love their videos. And if you're new to cross stitch, they do a lot of tutorials, and I've actually had people that I know in real life that's like, hey, I want to take up cross stitching, what do I do? I've actually sent them to their videos because they've explained so much, so well, that they're the best people to go and have a chat to. Yeah, I love their videos. They're just, I often watch their videos when I get up at 5 AM because they start the day right. They are just happy, and the stitches that they do is beautiful. Their whips, yeah, go and watch them if you haven't watched them. Also, Stitching May has done an epic whip parade. that goes for almost 3 hours. She hasn't done a video in roughly 12 months, just life. We all know what that's like. And she's gone through everything. And she's wanting to know also if you would want to watch a stash parade of the stuff that she's brought in the last 12 months. Yes, please. If I can do what I'm doing, Megan, you can do what you're doing. I would love to watch it. I just want to listen to your voice anyway. It's like having, Flosstube is like having a coffee with friends or a cup of tea with friends. You're sitting there, you're listening, you're having a drink, and you're cross-stitching. That is the beauty of Flosstube. So yeah, go, if you haven't checked out Megan May, Stitching May is her Flosstube. She's done an epic, close to 3-hour whip parade, and it was amazing. She goes through everything. I think that is it. Still not feeling 100%, still struggling voice-wise, just feeling, excuse the language, like shit. I don't know what it is. I wake up and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm okay, and then I just go. I've been working as well because I haven't felt sick enough not to work, but I have been coming home so tired. One of my kids, Michaela, has been bloody awesome, and she's like cleaned up my fridge, cleaned up my pantry. She's been busy organising all the things off her own back. So I've been coming home and she's like, I've done this and I've done this, and it's been amazing. Sophie and Iona have picked up more hours at the supermarket because they've been working there, so they've been busy there as well. And on top of all that, you know, they're keeping an eye on William. And before anyone goes, you're leaving your kids at home by themselves while you work. We're on a farm and my husband is literally at the sheds. They are not home alone. Within 30 seconds, their dad is there. So do not come at me. So yeah, so for those people who are new here, I do have 4 kids. I have Sophie, Iona, Michaela, and William. And we live on a farm in the Midwest of Western Australia. My husband and I bought the farm 13 years ago. He is Scottish, which is why Sophie was able to get a British passport, and it was his dream to own a farm. So yeah, that's way too late of an update for all those people. If you're still here and you haven't disappeared, you just got a little bit of extra info. But yeah, again, like I think 60, 70 viewers, subscriptions, which is amazing. Thank you for all the comments. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for anyone who shouted out me. You guys are amazing. You make this community so awesome. And I will hopefully see you soon in maybe 2 weeks when I do a Joan Elliott whip and stash parade. So yeah, that's the next one I'm planning to do. Right, I'll catch you next time. Bye.